You ever notice how the AI that helps you write an email feels totally different from one that can, say, plan an entire vacation for you? They're all called AI, right? But under the hood, they are completely different kinds of tools, built for fundamentally different jobs.
So what really is the difference between an AI that can just chat with you and one that can actually do things, take action? Figuring this out is super important because AI is this massive umbrella term that covers a whole bunch of technologies. So today, we're going to start with the kind of AI you probably mess with every day, and we're going to build our way up, step by step, to these incredible systems that are starting to work just like a real human team.
All right, first stop on our journey, the foundation. This is the bedrock of almost every modern AI chatbot out there. It's called a large language model, or just LLM for short. For our purposes, let's just call this one the smart texter. And you're going to see exactly why that name fits so perfectly. So what in the world is a large language model? Well, at its absolute core, an LLM is a ginormous AI that has been trained on a truly staggering amount of text from the internet. Books, articles, websites, you name it. Its main job, believe it or not, is actually pretty simple. It just tries to predict the most likely next word in a sentence. Here, think of it this way. Imagine you have a friend who has literally read almost everything ever written in English. If you start a sentence like, "the cat sat on the," their brain would instantly scream, "Matt," because they've seen that pattern millions of times. That is exactly what an LLM does. It's our smart texter. You send it a prompt, and it texts back a response that feels right. But, and this is the really critical part to get, it doesn't understand what it's saying, not like you and I do. It is an absolute master of patterns. It's a probability machine. It generates text that is statistically the most likely thing you're looking for. Its entire world is just about finding the pattern and completing it. And that right there shows you both the magic and the danger of an LLM. Let's take a simple task, like write an email to request sick leave. For this, an LLM is amazing. It's seen millions of sick leave emails, so it knows the perfect tone, the right structure, everything. It's fantastic for drafting stuff, brainstorming, or getting a quick explanation of a common topic. But here's the flip side, the big weakness. LLMs can hallucinate. And that's just a fancy word for saying they confidently make stuff up. See, its goal isn't to be truthful, its goal is to give you a plausible sounding sentence. So if it doesn't know the actual answer, it'll just invent one that looks right, even if it's completely false. And on top of that, it has basically no memory. It doesn't know who you are, it can't see your private files, and it definitely doesn't know your company's internal data. Its knowledge is frozen in time, based only on the public stuff it was trained on.
So this brings us to a really important problem. An LLM is great for general knowledge, sure, but what happens when you need answers that are based on your specific, private, factual information? What if you need the AI to know the exact details inside your company's latest financial report? Well, the LLM's tendency to just guess is not just unhelpful, it's potentially disastrous. And this exact problem is what sets the stage for the next step in our AI evolution.
The solution to the LLM's little fact problem is a very clever system called Retrieval Augmented Generation. Let's just call it RAG. And we're going to think of this one as the Factual Librarian. This technology is all about grounding AI answers in provable, verifiable truth. It's the leap from creative guessing to evidence-based responses. Okay, so what is RAG? It's not a totally new kind of AI. Instead, it's a really smart two-step process. It takes a normal LLM, our smart texter, and pairs it with a search tool that can look through a private library of your documents. So before the LLM even tries to answer, the system first retrieves. It goes and finds the relevant information from your files. Then, it uses that information to augment or supplement the LLM's knowledge. Think of it this way. The LLM is like a brilliant, charismatic professor. A RAG system is that same professor, but before answering your question, they literally walk over to a bookshelf, pull out the exact reference book, find the right page, and then base their answer only on that specific source material. It becomes our factual librarian that always checks its sources. This makes sure the answer isn't just plausible, it's factual, and it's based on your data. Let's break down how this librarian actually does its job. It's a really logical four-step process. First, in step 1, you ask a question. Something specific, like what is our company's policy on remote work? Second, the RAG system doesn't just pass that question to the LLM. No way. Instead, its built-in search tool scans your private documents, like your HR handbook, and finds the exact paragraphs that talk about remote work. This is the retrieval part of the name. Third, the system takes just those relevant chunks of text and hands them over to the LLM along with your original question. This is the augmentation part. It's giving the LLM a cheat sheet.
And finally, in step 4, the LLM is given a very specific instruction. Answer the question, but you must base your answer only on the factual text you were just given. So now, instead of being a creative writer, it acts like a smart summarizer, turning dense corporate speak into a clear and, most importantly, accurate answer. The real-world uses for RAG are just huge. Asking, what is our company's policy on vacation days, is a perfect example. It's amazing for building internal knowledge bases for employees, or customer support chatbots that give accurate answers from product manuals, or even tools for researchers to sift through dense papers. You get factual answers, and often you even get citations showing where the information came from. But RAG has a really big weakness. Its intelligence is only as good as the documents you feed it. If your vacation policy document is 5 years old, you're going to get a 5-year-old answer. And even more importantly, a RAG system is a reader, not a doer. It can tell you the vacation policy, but it can't log into the HR system and actually submit your time off request. It can only read and answer. It can't take action.
And that very limitation leads us straight to the next level of what AI can do. So we figured out that AI can be a good conversationalist, and now we know it can be a reliable fact checker. But for a lot of real-world problems, that's just not enough. What if you need your AI to do more than just talk? What if you need it to actually perform tasks, use tools, and, get stuff done? This brings us to the next year, the AI agent. We're going to call this one the digital doer. And this is where AI makes a massive leap from being a passive source of information to an active helper that actually executes tasks for you. Okay, an AI agent is a whole different beast. It's way more sophisticated. You don't just ask it a question, you give it a goal. And it can then autonomously create a plan, choose the right tools for the job, and execute all the steps to achieve that goal. It can even reason about its progress and fix its own mistakes along the way. So if an LLM is a conversationalist and a RAG system is a librarian, an AI agent is our digital assistant. You stop asking it questions and you start giving it assignments. You tell it what you want done and it figures out how to do it. It has a whole toolkit at its disposal, things like a web browser, a calculator, or access to your software, and it knows which tool to use and when to get the job done. Think about this powerful use case. Research my top 5 competitors, analyze their strengths, and create a summary. An LLM would just give you a generic, maybe outdated list. A RAG system couldn't do anything because you haven't given it any documents to read. But an AI agent, it can tackle this whole project from start to finish. It would probably start by using its web search tool to identify your top competitors. Then, it would browse each of their websites to gather information on their products and marketing. It might even use a tool to analyze their financial reports. Then, it uses its own reasoning ability to figure out their strengths and weaknesses. And finally, it synthesizes all of that work into a neat summary for you. That is its power. But agents have weaknesses too. They need really clear instructions. If your goal is too vague, it can get confused and go way off track. They are amazing solo workers, but they start to struggle with gigantic, ambiguous projects that really require the coordinated expertise of a whole team. And that limitation right there sets up our final and most advanced evolution. A single, super skilled digital assistant is incredibly useful, no doubt. But what happens when the goal is so big, so ambitious, that no single person or single AI agent could ever hope to do it all by themselves? What if you need a researcher, and a writer, and a data analyst, and a project manager all working together? This is where we get to the absolute cutting edge of AI development today, something called Agentic AI. This isn't just a single doer anymore. This is an entire coordinated AI dream team designed to tackle the most complex problems by working together, just like humans do. So what is Agentic AI? It's a system made of multiple specialized AI agents, all collaborating on a single complex goal. Think of it like a department in a company. There's a manager agent that takes the main goal, breaks it down into smaller tasks, and then delegates those tasks to different specialist agents. These specialists then go off and work on their little piece of the puzzle, and they can even communicate with each other to stay on the same page. So if a single AI agent is our digital assistant, an agentic AI system is the whole AI dream team. You could have a research agent, a coding agent, a writing agent, and a quality control agent, all reporting to a project manager agent. Each one is an expert in its own domain, and together they can accomplish things that are way beyond what any single agent could do. The way an agentic AI system works is fascinating because it's almost identical to human project management. First, you give it a big, high-level goal. You don't spell out every little step. Second, a manager agent takes that big goal and breaks it down into a series of smaller, actionable tasks. Then it assigns each task to the specialist agent that's best suited for the job. For example, it'll tell the research agent to go find market data. Third, each of the specialist agents gets to work on its assigned task, but here's the cool part. They can share what they find with each other in a shared space, so they can actually collaborate. The writer can see what the researcher found. And finally, once all the individual tasks are done, the manager agent steps back in, integrates all their work, and delivers the final, complete project to you. A perfect use case for this is something enormous, like launch a full marketing campaign for our new product. An agentic system could have one agent analyzing customer demographics, another one writing a series of blog posts, a third designing and running digital ads, and a fourth agent monitoring the results in real time. And all of them are coordinated by that manager agent. It's like having an instant team of experts. But as you can imagine, this kind of power comes with a price tag. This is by far the most expensive and complex type of AI to build and run. Getting multiple AIs to work together smoothly is really, really hard, and the chances for them to misunderstand each other or make errors is high. These systems need very careful design and a lot of human supervision to make sure the team stays on track and doesn't go off the rails. So what a journey. We've gone from a simple AI that can text all the way up to a full-blown AI team. Let's take a moment now to pull all four of these concepts together for one final side-by-side comparison, just to make sure these differences are perfectly clear. Okay, take a look at this. It really lays it all out. Over on the far left, you've got the basic LLM. It's just a smart text generator. Move one step to the right, to RAG, and you can see we've added a crucial piece, a searchable knowledge base, which grounds it in your specific documents. Then we make the leap to the AI agent. Now we've added access to external tools and, critically, the ability to plan. See how its autonomy goes way up? It can start working on its own. And finally, on the far right, with Agentic AI, the core components are no longer just tools, but multiple specialist agents working together. Notice how the planning and reasoning ability evolves. It goes from basically none to a simple to multi-step to full-on team collaboration. As you move from left to right on this chart, the capability, the complexity, and, the cost, they all go up dramatically. Let's lock this in one last time with our simple analogies. First, the LLM. Think of it as the smart texter. Its core job is simply to answer questions based on its vast general knowledge. Next, we have RAG. Think of this one as the Factual Librarian. Its job is more specific, to answer with your data, which makes sure the answers are accurate and relevant to you. Then, we leveled up to the AI agent. That's the digital assistant. It goes way beyond just answering, and it actually completes tasks for you. And finally, at the top of the pyramid, Agentic AI. This is the AI dream team. Its whole purpose is to take on the biggest challenges and complete entire projects for you. You see the progression? From answering factually, to doing as a team. So here's the big takeaway. The evolution from a basic LLM all the way to Agentic AI isn't just about making the technology more powerful. It's about making it more collaborative. It's about making AI mirror the very structures that we humans use to solve our own most difficult problems. We started with a tool that could talk. We've ended up with a system that can form a team. And that leaves us with one final pretty big question to think about. We've just unpacked the building blocks of modern AI, all the way from a simple conversationalist to a complex collaborative workforce. The technology is clearly not just a source of information anymore, it's becoming a source of action. So now that you understand the full capabilities of the whole AI team, from the librarian to the assistant to the entire dream team, what world-changing project would you give them? What grand challenge would you want them to solve? Understanding these different types of AI is the very first step to imagining what's truly going to be possible.
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell to the latest update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end, and see you in the next video.